Buenas and Alpha Day. It's Pete Santos again. Sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather, but I wanted to discuss something today about something that came up in conversation with a very close, dear friend of mine, and it was pretty profound. So, the topic is why a lot of Chamorros, not me, but many, remain silent when they see something wrong or something going on. Either they don't want to be involved in drama, or they feel it's none of their business, or they feel it's not their place to do something or say something. You know, I remember my grandmother used to say a long time ago that when it comes to our elders, whether they're wrong or they're right, right? At suka latsi pa dinansi amko dinansi. So a lot of us live that kind of mentality, live with that kind of mentality that you let the elders do whatever they're going to do, whether they're doing something wrong or not, right? And we see that also in our people who are elected or who are given authority, whether it's wrong or it's right. Um, they're the person in authority, so there's nothing we can do about it. You let them go. Um, where I learned that that was not proper was in the military, because I remember working late one night with one of my bosses, and she said to me, Pete, you will tell me if I'm wrong. And that was because, having worked with her for a while, every time she made a suggestion or did something, I was always agreeable. I agreed. Okay, yeah, that's right. Sounds right. That sounds good. Yeah, that's good. Um, and she noticed that. She goes, "How come you never challenge me? How come you never tell me if something is not right?" Or, and I said, "Because you're the boss." And I was always taught growing up, when your elders, whether they're right or wrong, they're right, right? And she stopped, and she kind of got upset. She goes, "You're gonna have to get rid of that. I know that's your culture or whatever, but you can't do that. You have to stand up for what is right. If you see something wrong, you have to say something." And so that's what I've been doing ever since. People have said it before, or not really said it, but have done it, and have been an example for me before. Um, Always doing the right thing, standing up for what's right, saying something when they feel something is wrong, especially illegal, and uh, not agreeing to do things that they feel is not correct, right? We learned, or I learned in the police department, what the difference is between a lawful order and an unlawful order, right? You're protected from any kind of punishment, and you're allowed to disobey an unlawful order, right? Just because someone is your superior, it doesn't mean you have to obey them. So I see in the Guam Police Department a lot of examples of that. But, when I think about it going back, but no one ever, really explicitly said, you are allowed to challenge authority. You're allowed to call someone out when they're wrong. The first time I ever heard of that was in the military, where they said, it doesn't matter your rank or your position or your assignment. When you see something that is wrong, you do what's called an on-the-spot correction, or you, you know, you do the right thing and you report it, or if you have the authority, you do something about it. And so that's how I've always been. But, since then, but, growing up and living on Guam and working on Guam, you see a lot of people unwilling to stick their neck out there, unwilling to speak up, unwilling to get involved because they're afraid of reprisal, or they're just, have the mindset that that's above my pay grade. I'm not to get involved in that. But, everyone that knows me knows that that's not how I operate. If I see something wrong, whether it's the governor or a senator or a judge or a or the attorney general, right? I haven't seen personally anything wrong judges are doing, but I do, and I have seen a lot of things wrong with the past AG, the previous AG to this one, and the current one. And so I've been very vocal about that. I was vocal about Mike St. Nicholas when he was the delegate. I'm not afraid to express my opinion about the current delegate. So, you know, um, that's just something that we were talking about. This friend of mine and I talking about, the majority of people on Guam, you know, Chamorros especially, they have a reluctance or an unwillingness to speak up, um, and there are a few who will, you know, who are very willing to speak up when they see something. But then there are those, I wonder, what are their reasons for not speaking up, even if they're the ones in authority and they see something going on that's wrong. And of course, I'm talking about the current AG, Doug Moylan. He hired his brother and pays him $120,000 a year of taxpayer money to do really nothing. Same thing with his fiance. She has no legal background. She was a realtor, and she's getting paid $75,000 a year of taxpayer money. And then his chief of staff as well. He hired his chief of staff, who then hired her daughter and her granddaughter and her grandson. And so, there's also a bunch of illegal contracts that were created while when he took office. I'm talking about Doug Moylan, and a bunch of lawyers called him out on it, and so he went down to the legislature and had them change the law, but that didn't cover the illegal contracts that he had already done, and so then he had them put in an amendment into the 2025 budget, giving him permission to go back to 2022 to pay people who had rendered services to the AG's office. And that's it. That's all it says, right? So basically, he asked the legislature to go back and decriminalize the illegal acts that he had done. And they did, and that's their prerogative if they want to do that. But my God, is that what the kind of world we live in, where we allow someone to break the law, and then when he comes knocking on the door saying, make what I did no longer illegal, or ratify my illegal acts, and they did it. That was the speaker, Therese Terlahi, who had done that for him. And, I get that she's trying to help him, but I wonder if she really understands what she did for him. She did his dirty work. And then, so that he won't get in trouble, because I've told him directly, you better be looking for a lawyer, because when you're no longer the AG, you're going to get indicted. And so he's doing his best to cover his tracks so that when he is no longer the AG, he has cover from the legislature saying, look, no, it's not illegal because I had them, you know, retroactively, ratify my illegal acts, right? And then the other thing is, Jesse Lujan, then Senator Jesse Lujan, gives him a $55,000 raise for what? For being corrupt, for nepotism, for wasting taxpayer monies, for destroying the office. When he introduced his budget amendment for 2025 to give a $55,000 raise to the AG, he said it was so that we can attract, the best and brightest from or to run for AG. But, you know, um, it doesn't make sense to make the raise go into effect right now. It should go into effect for the next AG that wins in 2026. You know, I don't know how the other senators allowed that to go through. You say we need to give the position of AG a raise so that we can attract, better candidates to apply or to run. Well, great, that's fine, but why are you giving the current AG a raise? He's already in the seat. He doesn't need to be enticed to run, right? As a matter of fact, it's ridiculous. The senators are supposed to be the gatekeepers, the protectors of government money, and you know not allow people to break the law and then give them a get out of jail free card. This is basically what they gave Doug Moylan, and the other one is Joanne Brown, who likes to spout off about being anti-corruption, yet she's totally silent and always backs Doug Moylan, who is the most corrupt official in Gov Guam right now. So I don't know. I guess it's because of our Chamorro culture and our Chamorro ways that we just allow people like Doug Moylan to, get away with committing crime and being corrupt and nepotism and illegal procurements and everything, So he doesn't have anything to worry about because when he's no longer the AG, the next AG can't touch him because he went to the legislature and made them ratify all his illegal contracts. But ladies and gentlemen of Guam, that's what we have. That's what we're dealing with on Guam. So until next time, this is Pete Santos. If you see something, guys, say something. Don't be quiet about it.